Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien, and today's live stream we talk about Bitcoin like we normally do. We'll talk about the cryptocurrencies that you guys want to talk about. Give me your requests if there's a particular cryptocurrency you want me to talk about here, and then we'll talk about probably the oil markets because the price of oil is affected by what's going on in the Middle East right now. So we'll talk about that as well, hopefully later on in this live stream. Just remind me if I forget. But we normally start by looking at the price of Bitcoin, currently trading right now at $67,900. I'm on the 1 hour chart here for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is, believe it or not, in an uptrend. Okay, even though there has been a war breaking out here in the Middle East, we have been making higher lows, higher highs. The last higher high here was at $70,000 on Monday, and we came down. We made a higher low this morning. The market's kind of sold off on, I believe, news that Donald Trump basically told the truth that this is going to be a weeks-long battle in Iran, not a short war or a short few days of strikes here. They're in it for the long run. So I think the markets didn't like that, and we've seen Bitcoin drop down. Earlier this morning around 9 a.m. Eastern time, we saw Bitcoin get down to like 138. I did say in a previous live stream yesterday that Bitcoin could drop down, and if it did drop down, I would expect it to retest the 67K area, which it did. I mean, it went down a little bit further than that. It went below 67K. It went down to 66K. Okay. And there were a couple of reasons why I thought 67K made sense, even though it did go down to 66K. 67K is an area that has been acting as support and resistance the last few weeks, and it's also an area that, if I zoom out onto the daily chart here, let me readjust things here. But just looking back, in history, looking left here, we did see that Bitcoin was trading, around 67K. All throughout like 2024. Okay, 67K and 63K. I already marked those levels off on the chart here. Those are important levels I think you guys should add to your chart. And that's basically where Bitcoin has been bought and sold all throughout 2024, was 63K to like 67K. And you'll see that, if we dig deep into this analysis here, you'll see why 63 and 67K keeps acting as support and resistance here. But also another reason why I think 67K was important for us to probably retest and come down to is because we are kind of forming a pennant here, or symmetrical triangle, whatever you want to call it. We have been making lower highs here, and I knew that after we broke out of this, well, I shouldn't say I know, but I had a feeling there was a chance that if we break out of this pennant that we were in, that we could come back and retest it, which we did. We actually came, above the pennant, and we actually came down to the 67K area that I thought made a lot of sense for us to retest. And I still think, Bitcoin could continue climbing up to higher prices here. It needs to. All right, we need to start boogieing out of here and getting away from 60K if we're going to see 70K and 80K start, showing up on the charts here. Okay, we do got to get past this previous high here back in February 8th, where we saw Bitcoin at 72K. I think if you're interested in long in Bitcoin, which I might do later on in this live stream, but if you're interested in long in Bitcoin, I think you should try to take a chance on it, and maybe take profit at 72K. And I still think that's about a 4%, 5% move up in price, right? Let me just measure that out real quick here. See if that actually makes sense. But if we were to climb up from 68K up to 72K, yeah, it's about like a 6% move up in price. Put on 10x leverage, that's about 60% move. Put like a 20x leverage, and now we're talking about maybe 120% move up if Bitcoin goes up to 72K. And you can work with that as a day trader here. Well, let me catch up in the chat here, see what you guys have to say. Maddie Ghost is saying, happy birthday. Okay, Kevin Hawthorne said that good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. Today is Kevin's birthday. Okay, happy birthday to you, Kevin. Glad to see you make it onto the live stream. I wish I had like something special here to celebrate your birthday here. Maybe I could put like a birthday cake emoji on the live stream, but yeah, happy birthday to you, Kevin. Glad to see that you could be doing a lot of things here for your birthday, but you came on this live stream, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys here. You guys can be doing anything you want right now at this moment. You could be watching another live stream, but you guys are watching my live stream. I appreciate that. On TikTok here says, hey bro, first request, he wants to take a look at ENSO. Alright, so let me go ahead and write that down. That's a request for ENSO. Is that a stock or a crypto? I never heard of ENSO. Just out of curiosity, which one is where can I find that, on the stock market or the crypto market? And I think that's what we have for requests for now. And we got a request here from Matty Ghost asking for Dusk. He's saying that Dusk 12 to 15 cents later. I don't know what that S is. You put like a 0.12S, 0.15S. I don't know what that means. But we can take a look at Dusk if that's another request here. Alright, and I'm going to put down that I want to look at WTI oil for myself here. So I don't forget to do that one as well. Alright. What says that is a crypto. Alright, thank you for the clarification there about ENSO. And yeah, Matty Ghost seems like he knows that about. So is this a brand new crypto? Because I never heard of what ENSO before. But let's go ahead and take a look at ENSO. We can always go back and look at Bitcoin later. But let's take a look at ENSO as one of the first requests that we got for this live stream here. ENSO on Binance. Okay, sure. Looks like this cryptocurrency has been around. Looks like it came out. Oh, okay, and that makes sense. It came out October of last year. So while Bitcoin was making new all-time highs, they decided to release this cryptocurrency onto the market. And of course, Bitcoin dropped down to lower prices from the all-time high, and so did this crypto. And it just looks like a typical altcoin. You know, you come onto the exchanges, you get sold off. And what was the lowest price we could have got ENSO if we were interested in getting into this crypto here? Lowest price you could have got it for was like 54 cents on January 21st here. Looks like it. Okay. And we did a swing high here. Looks like we got as high as 245. Swing low, another swing low here, a higher low here. And then now we got a higher high sitting at 315. What do I want to do? I think I want to measure Fibonacci from here to here. Okay, let's go ahead and try to measure out Fibonacci on this one. From there to there. All right, so we got levels to look out for. Let me just readjust that to right there. Seems about right. Okay. All right, so we've hit some Fibonacci levels on this. Asset here. Looks like we almost came down to the 0.236. I mean, you can count this level as 0.236 here. It looks like the 0.236. What number is that? $1.15 will be the 0.236. If we were to continue on the downtrend, we might hit down to $1.15 before the Fibonacci traders come to save the day and maybe get a reaction off of this zone here at $1.15. Looks like you recently had your blow off top, or kind of like a blow. I would call it a blow off top at $3.15. That happened on February 25th here, and you didn't really get any support. You just blew right through the Fibonacci levels here. Looks like we're kind of getting a little bit of something here going on at $1.53, kind of sorta. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I have to redraw the Fibonacci on this one. Let me see if I redraw the Fibonacci and I take it from the swing low here. See what shows up here. No, because in this case you still went through the 0.236 level here. Interesting. So you're not really respecting the Fibonacci level. So I don't know if Fibonacci even makes sense to look at this one, because you're not even respecting the Fibonacci levels. You're just going sideways right below the 0.236 here. I'm just going to take this off, and I'm going to go into the VRVP indicator, see what the VRVP indicator has to say. And alright, so the VRVP indicator is showing that a point of control, a highest volume node sitting at $1.33, kind of like where we're at right now here on ENSO. This should act as support, and if it doesn't, then you're going to probably end up dropping right down to this value area low here, sitting at $1.11. I think that's your level to be looking for if you're trying to get some cheaper ENSO here, or if you're trying to continue shorting this thing. I'm not sure what you're doing right now on ENSO, but If you want to continue shorting it, you could probably take it down to like $1.10, $1.11 here. Okay, but just know like you're starting to build up some support here at the point of control, and this thing could decide to jump up to higher prices here. Maybe go up to this value area high sitting at $1.96. This is the other white line above us. That's another area that we should consider maybe taking profit on ENSO if we can. And let me just go on the moving averages, see if anything shows up on the moving averages here. 21 EMA right above you at $1.52. That could act as resistance initially before you get up to like $1.96 for your value area high here. And let me just look at the DeluxeAlgo. There's nothing here that says that we should start long in this asset. You did get like a short signal here, back here on February 2nd. And that did play out, you know, going into February here. But you do not have any long signals yet. So I don't know. Maybe ENSO actually does want to continue going down the lower prices. Let's look at the momentum indicators. Momentum still strong to the downside. You still got selling pressure, so that's probably why you haven't had a long signal yet. So maybe this thing is gonna go down to lower prices. Look at money flow real quick before I move on from this one. Money flow is in the negative. You got magenta right here after you had like teal not too long ago, and you got that red cell dot that came in last Thursday on February 26th. So I think direction-wise, this thing probably wants to go to lower prices. This point of control might not hold up, and you might actually see this thing go down to $1.11. Not financial advice. I could be completely wrong, but just the momentum indicators are telling me that this thing is not done going down yet. All right, we got Lauren A in the chat. Good to see you all, Lauren A. And I think that finished up my analysis there on ENSO. Let's go ahead and take a look at we'll take a look at Dusk, and then I want to take a look at the WTI oil here. And thank you, Michael Haley, for liking the live here on the TikTok live stream. Appreciate that. Give me a bunch of likes here. We got up to 1,000 likes here on TikTok. I wonder if YouTube can do the same. YouTube, we got like 11 people in the chat. Let's see if we can get the amount of likes to match the amount of people in the live stream right now. Appreciate that. We do have, I think, a request for power here. KO wants to take a look at power. All right. We'll take a look at power after we look at oil and Dusk here. And what was said, oh damn, you're longing at $1.55? Yeah, we might go down to $1.11 on ENSO there. You might have to wait a little bit longer to recover your losses there. Right, Sam, we did look at Bitcoin at the beginning of the live stream. We'll take a look at Bitcoin again. We are looking at other requests right now. But if you want me to take a look at Bitcoin, we can take a look at that after we look at power. All right, let's see. MXRYS says you're looking to get into trading at 16. What YouTubers do you guys recommend? YouTubers. I actually watch a few YouTubers besides myself here, but you can actually follow me here on YouTube. I'm actually on the YouTube channel as well. I have about 600 subscribers here on YouTube. And you can also watch the replay of my live streams here by clicking live here. So shout out to myself. But as far as like other YouTubers that talk about like crypto and stocks, I like listening to Frankie Candles. Frankie Candles is pretty good with the volume profiles. So this is another YouTuber I think you guys might want to take a look at. Okay. Another YouTuber that kind of is a little bit entertaining and trades with the same indicators that I do is Road Dog Crypto. Shout out to Road Dog Crypto. I know there's a few guys here that watch Road Dog Crypto that are watching me on YouTube here, but Road Dog Crypto is another YouTuber here. He's got a couple of thousand subscribers, and he has very interesting thumbnails, to say the very least. You know, he's got some good music on his live streams, and then he has really great thumbnails. If you get, you know, where I'm coming at with the thumbnails there. I think he does all these thumbnails with AI and using Grok or whatever. But yeah, definitely entertaining to say the very least about Road Dogg Crypto. So you might want to check that guy out as well. All right, going back to take a look at Dusk, and then we'll take a look at oil here. Dusk is currently trading at almost 8.5 cents here, up 2.5%. I still got the VRVP indicator up and running here. Why not? And let's see. What do we have here for Dusk? Dusk is currently above most of the moving averages except for the 21 EMA. But it has come down. It had a really great January. Right? We saw Dusk get as high as what? How high did we get up to? Oh my god. Did we actually get that high? We got up to like 33 cents, and now we're only at 8 cents here for Dusk. Yikes. But that was back in January. It was like the talk of the town around that time. And now we're just back to 8 cents here, above the 50-day moving average, the screen line. And we do have a high volume node here, right above us at 0.087 pennies here. That could act as resistance until it no longer acts as resistance, and then we could pop our way up to probably this point of control here, sitting at 0.108 pennies, basically 11 pennies. But to be exact, it's that blue line is at 0.108 pennies there. So you might want to mark that on the chart. So let me go ahead and mark that for later. If you ever look at this asset again, I just know that this is going to probably be a problem area for Dusk until it's no longer a problem for us. Okay, but yeah, on the upside targets for Dusk, 21 EMA right above you at 9 cents, and then point of control above you at almost 11 cents here. And do we get the momentum to actually go up to higher prices here? Let's look at the momentum indicators. Where's my momentum indicator? Let's look at the MACD first here. So on the moving average convergence divergence indicator here, it looks like we're about to get across to the upside. Is this why you're interested in Dusk right now, Matty Ghost? Because it looks like you're about to get a MACD across with the upside. If we get a few more good days ahead of us, we could be popping up to higher prices here. So that's good to see. I mean, clearly you had selling pressure here in end of January going into beginning of February. Then the selling pressure died down, but then it started increasing again. What I'm worried though is that we might get a fake out on the MACD. If we get selling pressure start increasing again, then you're not going to get your MACD crossover to the upside, and this thing might not play out. Okay. However, if this thing does play out, I mean, this would be the beginning of something special here, where you could have the momentum send you up to higher prices. Now, will it be the same buying pressure that you saw back in January? I don't know. I don't see a lot of buying pressure in any cryptocurrencies at this moment. But, you know, you might get a few good days ahead of you and maybe a good week ahead of you if you start seeing the green buying pressure start showing up here on the MACD indicator. So, very interesting. Very interesting. And then here on the money flow. Okay, money flow is still in the negative here, still in the red or the magenta. However, you did get a green buy dot that just came in today. This could be the beginning of something good here, unless we get a red sell dot. If we get a magenta sell dot here, then you know, this could get canceled out here. Okay, but I think it's worth taking along. And if you were to long this, you probably put your stop loss. Where would you put your stop loss here, Matty Goes? You tell me. Are you going to put your stop loss below the 50-day moving average, or are you going to put it below like the candle wick low here at where we got as low as 7.5 cents here on Saturday? That would be very conservative and be a way to stay in the trade here, is to keep your stop loss right below here. Because if you get stopped out, then there might be something wrong with Dusk and it still wants to go down to lower prices here. Okay, so maybe I put the stop loss at 7.5 cents, maybe for like spot bags. But I would also, you know, if you're leverage trading it, maybe you can get away with putting the stop loss below the 50-day moving average. Maybe you can put it below this other candle wick low here, sitting at like 0.078 pennies. So maybe you put it at 0.078 and just hope that this thing actually starts catching some bids going into tomorrow and later on this week. Let me catch up on the messages here on TikTok. Thank you, Lorraine, for sharing the live. Thank you, Lorraine, for sending me the heart me. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Lorraine is one of the moderators here on TikTok, so you guys got to be careful with what you say and do here. But thank you, Lorraine, for sending me the heart me there. All right, moving on from dusk. Let's see if we could take a look at the price of oil, and then we're going to take a look at power, and we'll take a look at Bitcoin again one more time. All right, so price of oil, WTI oil. Let's see what this thing is doing. WTI oil is currently trading at $75. Actually, it's not trading right now. The markets are closed from like 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. It should start resuming trading again in about an hour from now. But let me just get rid of some stuff here because it's looking like a lot of craziness going on in the charts here. I've been day trading oil past few weeks here. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious that there was something was going to happen with Iran, just the way things were going. But I don't know, there was always a chance that, you know, they could, you know, give peace a chance, but that didn't happen. They had so many offers, so many chances, and they just didn't take it. But now you got Iran threatening to close down the Strait of Hormuz, and I think they did attack a few oil tankers, and that has caused the price of oil to jump up. The insurance companies don't want to insure oil tankers going through there. And if they do, they're now increasing the premiums. So it's almost like shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, just using the insurance companies here. And oil, trending at $75. It did come up to a target that I was looking at $78 here. Why did I choose $78? Because $78 has acted as resistance back here in June of last year. Like, we actually saw the price of oil go up to $78 the first time they attacked Iran, you know, back in June of 2025. Okay, so that was an area to take some profit because this could act as resistance. Same thing back here in October of 2024. Got a little bit of a, well, not really candlewick closes, but you can see that, you know, this was kind of hard for oil to stay above $78 back here in January of 2025. And as I zoom out here, and I gather all this data, let me see, I just messed up my Fibonacci there. Oh no. But as I start to zoom out here and I gather this data, I'm going to show you the VRVP indicator, see what the levels to look out for on the VRVP indicator. So the VRVP indicator is this indicator off on the right, and it shows you there is a point of control, a blue line here, highest volume node, sitting at $77, $78. So that is going to be resistance until there's no resistance left, and we can push past there. And if we get past $78, there's a value area high right above you at $79.89. So it's going to be tough for oil to get above $80. But if it does do that, there's a little bit of volume here at $81, some more at $85, and then some more at $91. So those are all the targets you could be taking if you're, you know, if we do see oil climb up for whatever reason up to like $80, $85 or $95. Yeah, you got some volume nodes here that could act as resistance. But I just received the word from Lorraine that I think Donald Trump might have mentioned that they're going to start escorting some of the oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz with U.S. Navy ships. So maybe that might put a lid on the price of oil going to higher prices. And that'd be good for everybody else that is trying to pump gas into their car or do anything with oil in that case. I know the airlines are happy with that because right now the airlines are getting crushed with high oil prices right now. But let me go back into the chart here and I'll get rid of the VRVP again for now. If oil does start dropping down, I would expect there to be a little bit of support at $70. I think 70 would try to hold as support for now. We kind of did come down to this 1272 Fibonacci extension level here at $70.76. We went down like $70.51 here earlier today on oil. So I think this has already acted as support, and we might be ping-ponging between $70 and $75 for like the next couple of days until we figure out what we're going to do next here. But if we do break below $70, then I think 67 is going to act as support again in the future here. And that was basically what the price of oil was trading at before they struck Iran, before the war broke out here on Friday. We saw oil trading at like $65, $67. That could be where we come back down to if if the war comes to an end, if Iran actually surrenders here. Alright, let me go back into the chat here. You said So Lero says you were working a few nights ago and gasoline was like $2.49, and a couple hours later it was at $3.69. Damn. Where exactly are you working at, or where did you see those gas prices at? Because I did see gas. I've been pumping gas like last week. I was getting it for like $2.59 here in Massachusetts. I know a gas station where I can get it for that price. Now I think, you know, they're now trying to sell gasoline for $2.79, and I believe it's going to probably go up a little bit higher than that as well. It might hit $3 by the end of this week. Let's see. I'm catching up on the chat here on YouTube. Matty Go says Road Dogg is funny, and Matty Go says you shorted the piss out of Dusk. Oh damn! Congratulations. Hopefully you made a good amount of money doing that. Matty Go says you shorted Power 4 times today. Yeah, we gotta take a look at Power. That is the next cryptocurrency we gotta take a look at, and then I think we're gonna take a look at Bitcoin after that. Edible Zombies wants to look at ALB. Alright, maybe we can look at ALB before we look at Bitcoin. I don't know. My guy that asked for Bitcoin, do you still want to look at Bitcoin right now? Because we're going to look at Power, and then I might look at ALB, or I might look at Bitcoin after Power. But let's move on to Power USD here. What exchange does this thing want to trade on? Power USDT? Oh, I didn't even type it in right. I missed the letter W there. Alright, Power Protocol on MEXC. Oh my god! Is this what's really going on with Power right now? This thing is down 90% today? Is that really going on? Let me look at Crypto Bubbles here. I'm pretty sure that would show up on Crypto Bubbles. Let's see, on the daily. It's not showing up here on Crypto Bubbles. Bro, what is this like doomsday candle doing here? Is this only on MEXC exchange? Let me see if there's another exchange I can look this up on. Let's see, BitUnex. Oh my god. Guys, what is going on with Power right now? I don't even know what the news is, but this thing looks like it's ready to die on us. I mean, if this was a stock, I'd be like, oh yeah, this thing is definitely going bankrupt, you know, by the end of today or tomorrow. Like, what the... Like, how do you make money when all your gains can be taken away like this in one day? Man, did something come out? Was it like a scam or something? Like, what's the news on this? I have no idea. I guess I could look up the news with you guys, but anyways, before I look at the news, we'll just look at the chart here, and we'll try to figure out what could come next here for Power. So let me turn the VRVP indicator. Oh my god. Oh damn. Well, that makes sense. Okay, so the VRVP indicator. What? The value area is all the way down here. Okay, so there's really we really have not built that much support for Power Protocol, because all your support is like down here at 20 cents. Yikes. This thing started trading when is that? December of last year is when it started trading on BitUnex. So the majority of people that bought Power, they bought it basically where it's at right now at 20 cents. And that's the main reason why we're not going lower than 20 cents. That's the main reason why we got support at 20 cents. Is because you got the point of control and the value area high, and basically the whole value area is at 20 cents, between like 19 and 21 cents. So, damn, this looks just like a rug pull here. Wow. Okay. No support. You blew right through the 21 EMA, which could have acted as support. That didn't do shit. That thing was at 72 cents. We started today at what? We started today at $2 and now we're at 20 cents. So I'm thinking like a big investor who had a lot of Power Protocol coin probably decided to take profit and just sold all their coins, took all the liquidity out of the market. And I mean, what can you do with this? I mean, you could try to throw your hat in the ring, knowing that, you know, we are at the support area with the point of control. The value area is like right here. So you could try to throw your hat in the ring here and maybe buy the blood in the streets. There's blood in the streets here right now with Power Protocol. And then where would you put your stop loss? Below like the low for today at 18 cents. So you could buy it at 19 or 20 cents and put your stop loss at 18 cents. Damn. What does this look like on the 1 hour chart? And it looks, this thing is still dropping down like a rock here. On the 1 hour chart, MACD, selling pressure was obviously violent. It got violent this morning. And now the selling pressure is starting to die down. But as the selling pressure is dying down, the price could still continue dropping down on you. And then money flow for sure in the negative now on the 1 hour time frame. Green buy dot here at 1 p.m. Eastern time about 4 hours ago. Yikes. Let's see what the RSI looks like. RSI is at 12.4 on the 1 hour time frame. Oh man, what's the RSI on the daily time frame? Oh, it's just 41. Yeah, I mean, looks like a rug pull to me. Let's see, Lorene's also in the YouTube. Lorene said that President Trump calls for Congress to pass the crypto market structure legislation. Bitcoin's going up in reaction. Is that what's going on? Bitcoin's going up right now. Bitcoin's at 68,300. I think when I saw the live stream, it was pretty much at that same price. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. Bitcoin went up. I saw the live stream about a half an hour ago, roughly about 45 minutes ago. Yes, I guess Bitcoin did catch some bids here. Nothing too crazy though. Matty says RSI damn near 100 on the 4-year, on the 4 hour. Oh man. Islam Creator says, what do I think about Monero? What do I think about it, or what? Well, I can tell you what I know about it. It is a privacy coin. It's been around for a while, and I mean, what do I think about it? It's a coin that people use to erase their transaction history. So Monero actually does trade on Kraken exchange. Okay, that's interesting. I think that's like the only United States exchange that Monero trades on. Monero's at $341. I know the Monero, the privacy coins were getting a lot of attention back in January and December because there were a lot of Bitcoin whales that were trying to hide their transactions by, you know, buying Monero, selling their Bitcoin, or like maybe not selling their Bitcoin, but exchanging their Bitcoin onto like a decentralized exchange that has like no KYC, and then basically buying Monero, and then taking out Monero, bringing it to another exchange, and then turning it back into Bitcoin or whatever else they wanted to turn it into, and it would just erase their transaction history by doing all those transactions with Monero. So Monero was catching the bids towards the end of last year. And I guess retail decided to jump on that narrative as well, and you saw Monero jump up as high as like almost $800, but now Monero's at $341. So a little bit of pump and dump action going on here with retail. You know, retail getting excited, not knowing what's really going on. The Bitcoin whales dumping their Monero and their Bitcoin on whoever would buy from them, and then boom, we got, we're basically down to the same prices we were trading at on Monero before the whales started selling off their Bitcoin and Monero here. Back in we're trading almost at the prices that we saw at in October of last year. So what do I think about Monero? In the long term, Monero is going up. I kind of got to get rid of this, but Monero is going up and to the right. So, I think in the long term, Monero will continue as long as it's one of the better privacy coins out there. Monero is actually going to have a use case, and Monero will be around for a while and probably going up to higher prices for the next set of whales that are trying to hide their transaction histories here. All right, we got to take a look at ALB because that was a request here from Edible Zombies. So let's go take a look at ALB now. ALB, is that a stock or a crypto, Edible? Are you still there, Edible Zombies? Because I don't see it. It doesn't look like it's a crypto. ALB Albemarle Corporation is on the New York Stock Exchange. Is that the one that you want to look at? Let me just catch up on the chat here. Not a crypto. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So here we are looking at, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, but it looks like it says Albemarle Corporation. It's works in the chemical industry. It's currently trading at $164 right now. And this thing does look pretty bullish to me. It's going up and to the right. That's how you make money, right? With you buy low, and over time it creeps up to higher prices, going up and to the right. However, what I'm a little bit worried about right now is I do spot a potential double top here. Looks like we topped out at $195 here on January, and then $206 here on February 25th. So you got a potential double top here. Double tops are bearish patterns that usually break down to the downside. If this stock is going to break down to the downside, you do got the 50-day moving average that can provide support at $138 here, and then you got the 100-day moving average at $118. But let me go ahead and turn the VRVP indicator to see what it shows for potential support levels to look at. If we start losing where we're at right now, 164 bucks, it's kind of like right where that point of control is at too. If we lose the point of control, there's something here at $158. Probably because you got some price action. Looks like kind of like a candlewick low and a candle body close at that area. But if you lose $158 as well, then there's a big gap in the VRVP indicator. You won't get support until you get down to 147 bucks. Then there's also some more support near the value area low at $142, which I think is where the 50-day moving average could provide support. Give it some time where this thing does drop down to lower prices. That 50-day moving average is going to continue climbing up, and I think X marks the spot right at that value area low at 142, 145 bucks. So I think this is where Albemarle could go down to lower prices if it is. Now, is it going to go to lower prices, or are we going to start climbing up here? Let's look at the momentum indicators real quick. Money flow is in the green. However, you did get a red sell dot, a magenta sell dot on last Friday. So, okay. I wouldn't really be expecting this thing to go up to higher prices based on that. However, money flow is still in the green. Yeah, you got green money flow here, so I don't know. Maybe it does go up, maybe. But let's look at the MACD. MACD indicator. Oh, so you had selling pressure here in the most of February here. Then you got the buying pressure showing up towards the end of February, and now we're getting a little bit of selling pressure showing up because you got a MACD crossover to the downside. This is not good. This leads me to believe that Albemarle might be going down to lower prices here. And I think the prices to be looking for, value area low at 147 bucks. And then the 50-day moving average between 130. So between 138 bucks to 147 bucks is where I would be targeting to buy some cheaper Albemarle if that's what you want to do here. They didn't even give you the upside targets, but if we all of a sudden just start climbing up and making, you know, higher lows and higher highs again, you got the 21 EMA above you at $171. Could be an area where you can take some profit. Then you got a bunch of volume nodes above you, but probably the most significant one is going to be the value area high, sitting at like the all-time high at 205 bucks. So that's another target for sure. If this thing does climb back up to 200 bucks, you should consider clicking that sell button. Not financial advice, but you should consider it. Maybe even actually push that sell button. But yeah, Albemarle looks like it wants to go down to lower prices. And that makes sense because you got the double top. You got the double top. You weren't able to go higher, significantly higher than what you did here in the end of January. So I think the double top's going to play out, and you'll probably see 50-day moving average give you support, or maybe you get support off of the value area low here. So that was Albemarle. Time to look at Bitcoin again. Let's see if I can analyze Bitcoin on the smaller time frames. Maybe I might get in. I was thinking about getting into a long on Bitcoin, but let me just make sure that if that's what I really want to do here. So Bitcoin currently trading at $68,300. Bitcoin did do some nice things over the last couple of days, where we got up higher than the last high back on last Wednesday. We saw Bitcoin at 70 grand last Wednesday, and then yesterday we saw it at 70,100. So slightly higher high on the candle wick highs here. And then Bitcoin then came down today, revisited the 67K level, which I thought could act as support, and it kind of did, but it actually went down a little bit lower than that. We came down to this downtrend line here, this yellow line here, and I thought, like, you know, if Bitcoin breaks out and then gets a retest, it would retest this yellow line. So 66, 67K actually made a lot of sense to me. I didn't buy Bitcoin at that level. I could buy it right now at 68K. But I do like the fact that you are creating what could be a potential hammer candle here. You still got about an hour and 35 minutes left before this daily candle closes here on Bitcoin. But this is nice. This is showing that there was selling pressure, but the buyers stepped in and they're pushing the candle up to higher prices here. If we get some follow through, we could see Bitcoin maybe hit 72K later on this week. And I think 72K is interesting because that was a candle wick high here back here on February 8th. We saw Bitcoin at 72K. That would be my target for a long for now on Bitcoin. Let me get rid of the VRVP indicator for now. I want to look at Bitcoin on the 1 hour chart and try to figure out where Bitcoin might go next. So the 1 hour chart, we did see Bitcoin come down to the 200 moving average, get some support off of there, so that's good to see. So, you know, conservatively, you could probably put your stop loss below that 200 moving average at 66K. If you're not using too much leverage, that might make sense here. But yeah, let's see. Let's look at the momentum. Momentum indicators. The MACD indicator showing that there is some buying pressure that showed up here for Bitcoin on Tuesday afternoon. However, the buying pressure, not strong. It's kind of weak. Very weak sauce. Not as strong as it was here on Monday. You know, when Bitcoin did push up to like 70K. Selling pressure for sure came in earlier this morning. Probably while you guys were sleeping, and then it started dying off here. I like the fact that there is a MACD crossover to the upside, but we're just not getting that strong buying pressure. The buying pressure was strong around like 12 o'clock this afternoon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now it's kind of, the buying pressure is still there, but it's just not, it's kind of dying off right now. So I don't know if I like that either. I don't know if I want to long Bitcoin because I feel like what could end up happening here is that Bitcoin could just go sideways until something else happens tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. It just looks like I feel like Bitcoin is just gonna go sideways. So I'm not even sure if I even want to trade Bitcoin if that's the case. Or maybe I could trade something else. Maybe I get into Dusk. Dusk was looking good. Matty Ghost pointed that one out. Dusk looks like it has potential to go to higher prices. But yeah, let me just finish up my analysis here on Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. Money flow is still in the negative for Bitcoin. However, you did get a green buy dot this hour at 5 p.m. Eastern time here. That cancels out that red sell dot right there on 4 o'clock. So you went, red then green. I'm not sure if that really helps anybody here, but it just lets you know that Bitcoin possibly could continue going up to higher prices here. But I just don't know if it's going to be with a lot of momentum and a lot of, it's probably going to crawl its way up to higher prices, not really run up to higher prices here. We got Cameron in the chat saying greetings, trading people. Good to see you, Cameron. And AP Car says, you trade XRP? Sometimes I do, but I'm not trading it right now. Atam Mamoon says, why do I think that? Why do I think what? Atam Mamoon says, going back to 64K. I don't know if Bitcoin's gonna go back to 64K. I think it might try to retest 67K one more time. That could happen later on tonight or tomorrow morning. Let's go into the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame, we got a 200 moving average above us at 69,800. Ooh, maybe that's where Bitcoin, if we do climb up to higher prices here on Bitcoin, we could get resistance. That's this 4 hour 200 moving average. 69,800. That kind of makes sense. It would actually still be a lower high than what you saw here yesterday when Bitcoin went to 70,100. So maybe the target to the upside is actually 69,800 as of now. Wait, did I say that right? Yeah, 69,800. Josh Vega says Bitcoin going down to 63K. I mean, 63K is a good support zone for Bitcoin that I already marked on the chart here. You see, we have come down to 63K, and we don't stay down there for too long. We came down here on Monday, February 23rd, and we didn't stay down there for too long either. I think right now Bitcoin could climb its way up to 69,800, get knocked down by this 200 moving average. And if it gets knocked down, then I think we'll revisit 67K one more time. Maybe make a higher low and then still go up to higher prices here for Bitcoin. Alva Medina says Tesla daily MACD looks so confused. So confusing to you. Madigo says Morpho to $2.10, then short. I actually wanted to take a look at Dusk again because I think Dusk has some potential here. Trying to see if I can pull up. I thought I had it on my watch list here. Where are we? Where are you, Dusk? There you are. Okay, I skipped right over it. But Dusk has gotten beaten down for sure. It's currently trading at 8.5 cents right now. But why was I interested in Dusk? I think because I saw the MACD indicator here. MACD is showing that selling pressure is dying down here on the daily time frame. And it looks like, it could happen tomorrow where we get a green buying pressure candle and you're about to get a MACD crossover to the upside. So Dusk looks interesting to me to go to higher prices here. And then here on money flow, oh no, that's not money flow. That's the RSI, but money flow got a green buy dot that came in today. Money flow is still in the negative, but you can kind of see that it is kind of starting to curve back up, the money flow. So this might be the lowest price for dusk. And then I guess you could call this a double bottom here at 7.5 cents, 7.5 cents. So I'm interested in longing dusk right now, putting stop loss at 7.5 cents or below 7.5 cents. And then where would I take dusk? Probably take it up to this level here at 0.108. I think I already marked on the chart, but I might have marked it on a different chart here. But if I turn that VRVP indicator, yeah, the point of control is like at 10.5 cents. So you could buy here at 8.5 cents and try to sell at 10.5 cents. And if I did that, right, where I got into a long on dusk, stop loss at 7.5 cents is what I said earlier. And I'm going to take it up to the point of control here. Risk-reward ratio doesn't look so great. I'm risking 13% to try and get 23%. Risk-reward ratio is 1.69. If my stop loss was tighter, like if my stop loss was like pretty much below the 50-day moving average, that green line right here, then it becomes a better risk-reward ratio, 2.9. But if I have my stop loss down here, I know, you know, it's most likely not going to get hit on the stop loss. But I'm really risking a lot to try and get, what, 23%? With a 5x long, that becomes 100% gain. With a 5x long, this could be a 50, almost a 60% loss on the margin. So really, I would have to plan on just putting my stop loss below the. Maybe I put the stop loss below the low for Sunday here. We got as low as 0.078 pennies. If I put it at 0.078 pennies. Risk reward ratio is 2.6. You're risking 8%. Still trying to get 23%. It's not too bad. With a 5x leverage, that becomes 40% loss to try and get 100. With 5x, yeah, it'll be about like 115% gain. Might be worth taking a trade. Not the best, not the most A+ trade out there, but I think it's better than trying to trade Bitcoin at this point. Aidman says, which volume profile am I using right now? I'm using the VRVP indicator. If you go on to indicators here on TradingView, you just type in VRVP, and it's the visual range volume profile indicator. That's what I'm using right now. That's an indicator that you need to have a subscription to TradingView, I believe, or else you're not going to be able to get access to that indicator. Itai says, what about Ethereum? I don't know. What about Ethereum? Do you want to take a look at Ethereum real quick here? And let me just say hello to Ava Medina. Hello to you, Ava Medina. Thank you for putting in the link for the Discord here. I do have a Meet Damien Discord, so if you guys want to continue the conversation, for my TikTok guys, all you gotta do is go to my TikTok bio. Don't forget to follow me here on TikTok. Come join the 6,680 followers that I got. But then once you go over to TikTok, I mean, if you get able to click on this link, that's the link for the Discord. But if you click on this other link here for the link tree, it'll take you to Linktree. And then here on Linktree, you can click on the Meet Damien Discord server, which is free to join. And it will take you over to the Discord. And on the Discord, you'll see all the other traders that are talking about, you know, power, okay? Things that are going on in the Middle East, okay? But then you also see when I go live here, you'll know when I go live. You know, I post up that announcement here on Discord. So you guys might want to join the Meet Damien Discord so you can stay in touch with me and all the other traders on the Meet Damien community here. Okay, All right, so that was like my little quick shout out there for the Discord. Adamon says, do I trade Forex? I actually trade gold and silver, which you can do on these cryptocurrency exchanges as well. But I've also been trading oil. And I do that with Coinbase Exchange. But as far as like trading currencies, I don't trade currencies, no. So I don't know if that answers your question or not. But yeah, I don't trade currencies, but I trade commodities, I trade stocks, and I trade crypto. Edible Zombies wants to take a look at XRP. Alright. Well, let's look at Ethereum, because that was the request that came in before XRP. We'll look at Ethereum, and then we'll take a look at XRP. Maybe there might be some better trade setups with Ethereum than there is with Bitcoin right now. So Ethereum currently trading at 1983, down 2% today. And I got the VRVP indicator once again showing up here for Ethereum. Ethereum has a point of control or a high volume node here at 1945. And there's a little bit of high volume here at 2050. I think that's the next upside target for Ethereum. And then of course you got the value area high sitting at 2110. So I'd be targeting 2110 for a long on Ethereum if that's what I want to do. To the downside, we got a value area low below us at 1900. And I have marked on the charts here just by looking at previous price action, but Ethereum could drop down to 1822. And then there's also 1650. Alright, you can see that here at 1822, we didn't stay down there for too long before we got bounced off at 1800 level here for Ethereum. But that would be downside target for Ethereum in their near term here. That could happen again later on this week or later on this month. Let's see what the momentum is looking like here for Ethereum. Is Ethereum going to go up to higher prices, maybe? You had green buying pressure here since Valentine's Day. And it was pretty steady and strong up until recently here. And there's still buying pressure here, but it's slowly trying to die off here a little bit. And then let's see, I mean the blue line is above the orange line, and you need to see that in order to be continue to be bullish here on Ethereum. I would start to worry if this blue line starts curving down, and then if it crosses the orange line to the downside, you're gonna see another sell-off here on Ethereum. But you're not getting that right now, so Ethereum could climb up to higher prices. And then money flow is in the negative, but you got a green buy out here that came in on Sunday. So let's see. But here's the thing, money flow is starting to curve up, but then it curved down again, like in the last couple of days here for Ethereum. I don't know if I like that. So let's just game plan a potential long here on Ethereum. Is it better than Bitcoin or Dusk here? If I was to buy right now here at 1980, with the stop loss maybe below the lows from Sunday here, we got as low as what? How low did we get? 1907. Wait, no. Yeah, 1907. I'll probably put the stop loss at 1907 for now, or somewhere between like 1900 and 1907, and then I would be targeting what, 2150. Risk reward ratio 2.2, not the greatest. So far, Dust looks better right now for a long. You're risking 3.8% to try and get 8%. What would you do? Stop on 10x leverage? You get, you know, risk 38% to try and get 83%. Yeah, I don't know. Ethereum's an if and maybe. Almost as good as Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are almost the same as far as like risk reward ratio goes. And then let's see. Look at XRP. Could XRP do something different for us here? We're now looking at XRP currently trading at $1.36. And we got a point of control Highest volume node here at $1.35, so we're right at that point of control. Value area low right below you here at $1.29. That'd be your downside target for now for XRP. And an upside target, maybe we could push this thing up to the value area high, sitting at $1.65. Let's just quickly measure out the long, potential long on that one. And what would you with the stop loss? Below the lows for the past 3 days here? Like $1.33 maybe? And you're targeting $1.65. You're risking 2% to try and get 21%. Risk reward ratio is 9.95. Oh my god, that'd be great. But I mean, are we going to be able to do that now? That's if we get up to the value area high, but we could get some resistance here at the $1.59 area. And then you're only going to get a risk reward ratio of 7.7. And do you really want to put your stop loss that tight? I don't know. $1.33 on the stop loss. That could happen. I mean, you could get stopped out later on tonight or tomorrow. I'd probably put the stop loss maybe below the low here. On Saturday, we got as low as $1.27. So if you put the stop loss at $1.27, now the risk reward ratio is normal. It's like 2.49. And if you try to target that value area high, that's a normal risk reward ratio of 2.9. But there you could probably stay in the trade, because if, like, you know, if Ethereum does drop down to like $1.30, you'll still be in the trade. And maybe it goes up to $1.60, $1.65 here. But that's what I would do for a long on XRP. Edible Zombie says 112. You think that's where XRP might go? I have highlighted $1.12 or $1.11. That's an area that we hit a couple of weeks ago here, beginning of February. Chaotic Knight says, how long do you plan on holding a trade? When I'm day trading, I at least plan on holding it for the day, at least 8 hours or 12 hours. But if I want to hold on to the trade longer, sometimes I'll hold on to trades for like a couple of days, 3 days, maybe an entire week. And is that really a day trade? Then it becomes more like a leveraged swing trade, right? But I do leverage swing trades. And you could hold on to trades, yeah. You could take profit. Like in this case, let's say we did get into XRP and we wanted to take some partial profits. We could take a little bit of partial profit at $1.40. Then take some more profit when it gets up to like $1.58. And then we could take more profit when it gets up to like $1.65, or even this previous candlewick high at $1.67. Okay? So you could be in a trade for a few days here, a swing leverage trade, and just take profits on the way up. Especially if you're able to cash the bottom and you know you're not going to get stopped out because you basically got in where everybody's putting their stop losses at. Then you can stay in a trade, take partial profits on the way up, and just continue being in the trade for a few days. Chaotic Knight says, does it cost more money to hold? Yeah, I mean, if you are going to do something like that, where you're day trading with leverage for a few days, you do have to pay funding fees. So funding fees could eat away at your gains as you're holding on to the trade longer and longer and longer. Edible Zombie says, better to sell it than burn it. Ronnie says he long XRP 300 mark price at $1.36. Okay, so you must have got in it just now. Your margin ratio is 2.9. Interesting. Ite says, I am saying long about all the assets for the short term. Yeah, I mean, I think you could enter longs here. Let's see, what is DeluxeAlgo saying for XRP? If I turn on this little secret indicator here, it's going to tell me whether I should long or short XRP. And the last signal came in here on February 10th saying that you should have longed XRP on February 10th. I mean, basically XRP is at the same price that it was on February 10th, but yeah. There's nothing here that says you should short XRP on the daily time frame. Excuse me. Last time you got a short signal for XRP was on January 31st. And had you paid attention to that signal, you would have avoided all this damage on the way down. So, we don't have a short signal yet here on XRP. The next signal should be a short signal, but you're not getting that right now. And let's see. What does it say here for Bitcoin? I gotta turn that thing back on for Bitcoin, but oh, actually, you got a short signal here on Bitcoin. That came in February 28th. Uh-oh. But if the price continues climbing up, then you'll eventually see a long signal that will probably cancel out the short signal here. So, and I do like the fact that Bitcoin is creating a potential hammer candle, which is a price reverse candle that puts price up to the upside. You'll see follow through. I mean, you should see follow through, where you get some green candles going into tomorrow and the next day. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but maybe you might get it's very unlikely that you'll start getting red candles after you create a hammer candle. It's still possible, but it's highly unlikely. Apple Zombie says, whatever you do, don't look into Ripple. You got something against Ripple? Is that what you got? You don't like Ripple, Edible Zombies? Roll says, XRP, bro. We just looked at XRP. I said like upside targets. I think upside targets like $1.65 on XRP for now. Joza says that is not a hammer candle. You're right. It's not a hammer candle. We still have to push the price higher. I'm saying if we could get a potential hammer candle if this price continues pushing up higher. I think, what do you call this? Possibly it could be like a dragonfly candle. Looks like kind of like a dragonfly here. But regardless, whether it's a hammer candle or not a hammer candle, or if it's a hammer candle with a little bit of a wick on top of it, this is still a pretty bullish candle to be looking at, because the sellers try to push the price down, and then the price got bought back up, and we got a big candle wick to the downside, but we don't have that much of a candle wick to the upside. So this is very bullish, whether you call it a hammer candle or not. Was 64K surprise me? Not really. We could drop down to 64K. I think more likely we'll drop down to 67K one more time, because that is a high volume node here on the VRVP indicator. But I already marked out 63K is another high volume node to be looking out for. But also you can see that we have come down to 63K, and we don't stay down at 63K for too long. We haven't even got a candle wick. We haven't even got a candle body close below 63K. And then look, when we came down to 60K, right? We immediately came right back up the next day. So I think 63K is a pretty strong support area for Bitcoin, for sure. Thank you, Shadow S, for following me here on TikTok. Nicole Harbor says, going down. What's going down? Chris says, my thoughts on Palantir. Unfortunately, Palantir not looking so great. I actually have Palantir in my stock portfolio, and right now it's like one of my biggest losses in my stocks portfolio. I'm still gonna hold on to it. But yeah, Palantir has been looking bearish the last couple of months here. Where is Palantir? Let's see if I can find this on my watch list here. There you are. Palantir currently trading at $147.22. I think we talked about Palantir the other day or yesterday maybe, and Palantir lost the 200-day moving average. When you do that, you're for sure in a bear market. But I think in stock market world, they consider bear market anytime you lose more than 20% from the all-time high or the high for the year. And Palantir did get up as high as 207 and us at 147 bucks. We're down like 30% on Palantir. So Palantir is for sure in a bear market. And its own bear market. I think if Palantir is going to redeem itself, it's got to get above the 200-day moving average sitting at $161. And then you got some more moving averages above you at $169. $169 is where the 100-day and the 50-day are sitting at. But looking at the VRVP indicator here, the Palantir does climb its way up. There is a high volume node here at 157 bucks. Then there's a little bit of volume here at 170, which is right where those moving averages are at, the 100 and the 50-day. And then you got the value area high sitting at 180 bucks. That's where I would try to de-risk and get out of Palantir if I wanted to get out of it. The Ned Rec is in the YouTube live stream. How you doing, Ned Rec? Yee, dollar bills, y'all. I think he says that because he likes my accent. I got like the Boston accent here. Sometimes some people think it's a New York accent. Nicole wants to know, what do I think about Bitcoin? Because you missed that early in the live stream. I think Bitcoin's doing fine. Bitcoin might surprisingly climb up to higher prices and go into 70K again. So look at Bitcoin again on the daily charts. Bitcoin at $68,300. And Bitcoin was in a potential symmetrical triangle or pennant here. It broke out of the pennant to the upside. It did that yesterday. Got as high as like $70,000. Then immediately today we retested the the downtrend on this this pennant here, and that was good to see. That gives us reason to believe that this is now going to act as support at 66, 67K. And maybe Bitcoin's going to climb up to higher prices. If it does climb to higher prices, I think initially we got to get above 72K, which is what we did on February 8th. We got up to 72K here. If you're going to long Bitcoin, I think that's where you should try to, for the day traders, try to take some profit at 72K. But if Bitcoin's going to continue being more bullish than that, we do got some sideways trading action at 78K. You can see there's a little bit of high volume there at 78K. So I think 78K should be the next target after 72K. And then looking at the charts here, we do got a 50-day moving average right above that at 83K. So I think 83K could push us down to lower prices, or we could get rejected off that 50-day moving average. But if that's not going to act as resistance, then maybe 87K, $87,500 is another high volume node here on the VRVP indicator. 444 Ashley asking, is Bitcoin gonna pump? Well, you're trying to get the direction for Bitcoin, and for me to get the direction, I have to look at the momentum indicators here. And the momentum on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, we do got buying pressure, and it's pretty solid right now. MACD crossover happened on Valentine's Day. That's when Bitcoin decided to show some love to the bulls here. And yeah, it's pretty solid, and it's actually increasing here. So yeah, I think Bitcoin might actually want to continue climbing up to higher prices. Just looking at the daily time frame and looking at the MACD indicator here. And then money flow It's in the negative, but I mean that's kind of like to be expected in the bear market. If money flow could just creep up on higher, you know, this magenta area, if this starts, you know, start going up, then you will see Bitcoin go up as well. See, money flow was in the negative back here in December, and when it started creeping up, and then we got that money flow flip to the green in January. We all know how good January was for Bitcoin when we went up to like almost 100K. We got up to like $97,000 on Bitcoin. Maybe that might happen later on this month or next month, but you gotta start seeing this money flow creeping up to higher levels here. We're gonna see higher prices here on Bitcoin. But I don't see anything here that says that Bitcoin has to go down. And going back to the MACD indicator here, I would get worried that Bitcoin will go down to low prices if this blue line starts curving down. And then when that blue line curves down and crosses the orange line to the downside, you get a MACD crossover to the downside, then that's when I would worry about, you know, Bitcoin starting to crash on us again. Last time you had a MACD crossover to the downside was the end of January, January 19th, right? If I can just show that here real quick here. Yeah, I probably got to get rid of this stuff here. Make it easier to see. But, you know, on January 19th, I was like right over here. That's when you got that MACD crossover to the downside. And then, yeah, that was a signal to you. This would have been your signal to get out of Bitcoin. That MACD crossover on the downside on the daily time frame. But then also, you know, just using the DeluxeAlgo indicator here, it was telling you to short Bitcoin on January 18th. So, you know, DeluxeAlgo was telling you to get out of Bitcoin on January 18th. The MACD indicator was telling you to get out of Bitcoin on January 19th. And you would have avoided all this mess here. Right now, the DeluxeAlgo indicator does say short Bitcoin this Saturday. So I don't know. I mean, we could drop down, but why are we climbing up still? We're climbing up higher than, you know, over the last few days we've been climbing up higher. Now DeluxeAlgo, I think the short signal, you know, triggered because we did see Bitcoin drop down to like $63,000 on Saturday. But then we saw Bitcoin climb up to like 70K a couple of days later. So maybe we might, if we see prices continue up higher, we might get actually a long signal here on the DeluxeAlgo. But MACD indicator is also showing that we could go up to higher prices here for Bitcoin too. Alright, and that's just on the daily time frame. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. That's my day trading time frame that I like to get started with. On the day trading time frame, on the 1 hour time frame. So this is a little bit confusing. This is why I think Bitcoin could go sideways over the next few hours later on tonight. There might not be anything really to write home to mom about. Because buying pressure is still here, which is great to see, but buying pressure is kind of dying down on the 1 hour time frame. And it's not really dying down too much. It's just sideways. I mean, Bitcoin, I think, is at the same price that I started the live stream 2 hours ago. If that lets you know what's going on in Bitcoin here. It's just it's being boring right now. 15-minute time frame, anything good on the 15-minute? 15-minute time frame showing the MACD selling pressure is dying down, kinda, sort of. But here's the thing, it's like it's trying to. But selling pressure could start increasing again. It's not an end-all be-all indicator. Just because the trend is upward doesn't mean it's going to stay up. Right? We could get something like this where selling pressure dies down, then it starts increasing again. Selling pressure dies down, then it starts increasing again. So we got to be on the lookout for that. Like, we could get a fake out where selling pressure dies down and then starts increasing again. And on the 15-minute time frame, it did say that we should short Bitcoin. It said that we should short Bitcoin at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Now, it doesn't mean like you should just get into a short right then and there. It's just saying that there could be some downward price action. Maybe maybe instead of shorting Bitcoin, maybe you could actually long it and get a better price. Maybe you could get Bitcoin at 68K or somewhere in the $67,000 area. Okay, so just, you know, take it with a grain of salt. When you see these signals here, it doesn't mean like you should just short it right then and there. You gotta take things into context. Okay, this is a 15-minute time frame, which doesn't have as much. It doesn't have as much weight to it as like the 1-hour time frame, which did say that you should long Bitcoin a few hours ago, and that 1-hour time frame doesn't have as much weight as like the 4-hour time frame, where the 4-hour time frame, it did say you should long Bitcoin, but it told you to do that on Monday. Okay, and then the 4-hour time frame doesn't have as much weight as the daily time frame, which for some reason it did say short Bitcoin, but it said that on Saturday when, you know, when war was breaking out. If we continue going up to higher prices here, that, you know, we could get a long signal here that cancels out the short signal. So we still have to analyze the charts. We still have to look for our bullish and bearish divergences. We still have to, you know, identify the key support and resistance areas. We put it all together, and it kind of gives us an idea as like what we should be doing. And I'm leaning towards long in Bitcoin, especially with, you know, looking at this candle, this candlewick low to the downside, very long candlewick to the downside. It shows that the sellers weren't able to keep Bitcoin down. The buyers came in and pushed the price right back up again. So I'm inclined to long Bitcoin, but in this day and age, you just don't know what could happen. You know, tomorrow morning we could find out, you know, maybe China decides to join the war and wants to fight United States and Israel, you know, for whatever reason, because they're trying to get access to their oil again. We just never know what's going to happen in this day and age. Which is why it's tough to be in a day trade for longer than a day, right? If you make profits, you should take your profits. Take your profits, move your stop loss to break even, or move your stop loss to, like, you know, where it's covering the fees. And if you're going to stay in a day trade for longer than a day, you know, just understand that, you know, we do live in crazy times, and the trade might go the other way on you when you wake up the next morning. But definitely don't forget to take your profits and pay yourself. I took profits on oil earlier today. I took profits on oil yesterday. I sold oil at like $72 because I was buying it like $63 last week. Okay. And then I sold some more oil at like $73 today. And right now, yes, it's still climbing. Oil is climbing up to $74 right now. But it's hard to stay in these trades because you just don't know what's going to happen next. You just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, Iran might decide to surrender. And what does that do to our day trades? You know, oil's probably going to go down after that. Bitcoin and stocks might have a really good day if Iran just decides to surrender out of nowhere. So we just don't know. It's just crazy times we live in. But definitely got to take your profits along the way. Don't forget to take your profits and move your stop loss to break even, so you're not going to get yourself hurt. If you're going to stay in a day trade for longer than a day, if you're going to do like a swing leverage day trade and stay in it for like a few days, take some profits and move your stop loss to break even. Gotta work on the risk management. Let's see. We got Y92 says, "What are my thoughts about AWACS?" Is that AWACS or AVAX? I don't think I ever heard of AWACS. You said AWACS with a W. Yeah, I don't see there's anything here called AWACS. I think what you meant to say was AVAX, which is a cryptocurrency. It's in the top 100 cryptocurrencies, and AVAX on, let's see, Coinbase. AVAX currently trading at $9.20. Is that the one that you're talking about here? Okay, yeah, Avalanche, AVAX. Avalanche, you got a long signal here that says you should have long Avalanche on February 21st, and you don't have any sell signals here yet. So I guess that's good to see. Last time you had a sell signal was January 31st. Had you listened to that, you know, indicator here, you would have avoided losing all your money down here. Now it's telling that you should think about long in Avalanche right now. At least on the daily time frame here. Let's see. What do we got for moving averages here? There's a 21 EMA, this white line, trying to cradle us and act as support, trying to hold us up here. That 21 EMA is at $9 right now, $9.04. Okay. And if Avalanche was to continue going up to higher prices, I think you could get knocked down by this 50-day moving average sitting at 1187. Is where you could take some profit on Avalanche. Now let me go ahead and throw in the VRVP indicator, see what that has to say for levels. Definitely a point of control here at $9 right now. A little bit of volume here at $10.19, and then some more volume here at 11 bucks. And then 11.75 is another target here, right next to that 50-day moving average. So I think if Avalanche was to climb up to higher prices, you should look at that 50-day moving average and click the sell button. You don't have to sell everything, but might be a good time to sell something. If you have a little bit of Avalanche, you could take a little bit of profit there, or if you're in losses, maybe you minimize your losses by taking a little bit of loss off the table, de-risking and taking, you know, selling some of your Avalanche at what might be the highest price you can get in the next few days, next few weeks here. All right. So I think that's Avalanche. We pretty much going over a lot of cryptocurrencies. I've done almost like a 2-hour live stream here. I think I'm gonna end the live stream. Let's plan on going live again, same time tomorrow. Is when I'll do the next live stream. So yeah, guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new here on YouTube. And for my TikTok guys, don't forget to follow me. You click that picture on the top left with me in the red shirt, and that will allow you to click my profile, so you can go ahead and follow me here. And you can come join the 6,600 followers here on TikTok, and check out some of my other videos here. I do have a video about the VRVP indicator that's pretty popular. It's got 2,300 views here on TikTok. Okay. And I got it pinned to the top of the channel, so you can get started, you know, learning more about the VRVP indicator and how I set it up and how I trade with it. Then I also got another video here for the Fibonacci, how to use that. And then for the very new to trading and investing and looking at charts, I do got a how to trade the charts, how to set up the charts here. And that's a video that I pinned to the top of my TikTok channel here too. Got about 902 views. I teach you guys as much as I can about the RSI, the stochastic RSI, and the MACD indicator there. Alrighty, and then for my YouTube guys, don't forget to follow me here on YouTube. I got well, there's Road Dog Crypto here, but I do have a YouTube channel here. And let's go ahead and see if we can get me up to 1,000 subscribers, hopefully sooner rather than later. And yeah. If you want to watch the replays for the live stream, my TikTok guys, you can come on to the Meet Damien YouTube and watch the replay here. This is the one that we're on right now. That says Trump says war could last weeks, markets react negatively. And this was yesterday's stream, and the stream on Sunday, and Friday's stream right here. Was that Friday? No, that might have been like last Wednesday, I believe. I didn't stream the last couple of days of last week because I was busy getting one of my rental units ready to rent for a new tenant. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this live stream. Appreciate you guys coming on to the Meet Damien live stream and joining the Meet Damien community. And you can join the Meet Damien community by joining the Discord link on the YouTube and TikTok, and come say hi to us here on the Meet Damien Discord, where we talk about, you know, what's going on in the markets, what's going on in the Middle East. And you also see when I go live here, or at least I put up the announcements there. Okay. Yeah, you guys have been very busy here while I've been live streaming, talking about all kinds of stuff here on the Discord. It's a small community, but it is growing, and I like to see it continue to grow. Alright guys, I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, same time. Take care, and good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get into. Take care, guys.